really have been studying Enneagrams, and I think I told you this a couple months ago.
Okay.
And I haven't, been looking into it as much as I did when I first told you about
What's
it.
your Enneagram?
I'm a 1.
You're
so
1.
that's a perfectionist / reformer, but I resonate a lot more with the perfectionist title because I don't really like to reform things. At least not in that type. Yeah, no, that's not really me.
So maybe for the people who don't really know what's an Enneagram, like what is Enneagram?
So the premise is that everybody on this planet would fall into one of 9 different personality types. And so, of course, let's say you and I are both 1s. That doesn't mean we think the same about every single thing, but because of course there could be variations, but you just are fundamentally, we have kind of the same motivations, the same views about, where things may come from or how we see things prospectively and things like that. But everybody falls under these one of these 9 types. And basically the premise is that in your formative years, like, somewhere maybe between anywhere from 3 to maybe like teenager, whatever, something happens to you, you respond to that thing and it begins to like shape your personality type.
Okay.
So whether you respond to it by, I'm going to retreat and ignore this, or I pretend like it didn't happen, or whether you respond to it like, over an emotional response that's not really, adequate for the event or the thing that happened. Whatever it is, these like responses kind of begin to shape your personality type. And then it kind of goes further to say that, the book particularly that I was like reading, it kind of goes further to say that throughout our lives, we also start to try to hide that person who we are because we feel like, it's not acceptable, or people might not love this part of me or whatever. And the book kind of that particular book would just kind of encourage you to embrace that part of you, but just live it in a healthier way. Like there can be healthy versions of every Enneagram number. Like people might look at some better than others. There is no one that's better than others, especially if you're unhealthy. If I'm an unhealthy 1, I'm no better than a healthy 6 or whoever. So, but I just brought that up only to say that I feel like if going back to the root of your question, which is where do I think this kind of everything happens for a reason and stuff like that comes from, I think maybe it's that, like some like events in like my formative years, whatever, and my responses to them and the way that I've like, processed them or whatnot, maybe have, make me think about things, like try to think of things with that type of perspective.
Yeah.